a simple life, something out those aches and pains from working on the farm.
Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Today, I'm going to show you how to take the mower deck here off of your Husqvarna garden tractor. This is pretty much the same for the GT series, the GT LSI series, and this, which is the TS 354D. Any TS series tractor will be the same. This is a fabricated deck, but honestly, doing the stamped versus fabricated, the process is the same. So I'm going to get the camera off the tripod. I will show you. We're not even going to lift the thing in the air or anything like that. We're going to do it right here on the ground. Only tools you're going to need to do this, I think it's a 19 wrench with an extension. And you're also going to need a pair of like needle nose pliers to pull the pins off. So let's do it. Right, so the first thing we're going to want to do, you can see this is in the almost up position. We got to lower that thing down. So let's get it down all the way to the bottom, and that's going to give access to all the pins and stuff. It's going to make it a whole lot easier. All right, let's lay down on the driver's side here on the ground, and I'll show you what to take off first. All right, here we are on the driver's side, but both sides are going to look the same. That right there, we're going to take that pin out, and we're actually going to remove that bracket, although you don't have to get the deck out. It'll fall off while you're driving without it, so I recommend you do that. The other one is follow that black bar right there up, and there it is. That one drops down onto the deck and stays in place. We don't have to remove the other half. So you're going to do that on both sides. Honestly, what I do is just grab a pair of pliers here, and I'll grab that, and you kind of move it out a little bit and slide it out of the way, and that's all there is to it. There's a washer. You want to take that washer off, and then pull it loose. Now to do the same thing with the rear. This looks like this is aftermarket. It didn't even require that, but I do have my washer. I'll save that. And then I'm going to pull, and when it pops off, you can see the deck drops down a little bit, right? Now I'm just going to leave this bracket here. I'm going to leave it dangling. We'll take care of it after we get the mower deck out completely. Let's go to the other side. Well, and here we are. So we're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this, I'm going to kind of push it past that, and then usually they slide out fairly easily. There we go. And then don't forget, oh, you got a washer there. I'll have to grab both those. Okay. And then we move to the back one. Now the only difference here is the deck is in the way, the chute is. So it's a little harder to get that rear one out, but still will come out without too much of an issue. Okay, here's the back one. That one just comes out by hand. These have been replaced at some point. We take our washer out of that. The same thing applies. I had to put the camera down, but you're going to want to lift up a little bit on the deck to relieve pressure here, and this will just pop right off. Once that's out of the way, we're already on to the last piece. The only piece you're actually going to need to use a wrench or turn a wrench on. But let me get this out of the way, and we'll move to the front of the mower, and I'll show you how to take that off. Okay, we are now at the front of the deck, and you see this piece right here, how it just kind of hooks in there. Well, it's like that on both sides. Let me lower this down and get you in there from behind. And this is our front adjustment. So this whole bar comes through the front frame, and there are two nuts. Sometimes there's only one nut, and then there's kind of a curved piece that allows the deck to float a little bit. We're going to go up there, and we're going to get that loose, and then it'll be time to remove the belt and slide this thing out. Okay, here we are under the front of the tractor. You can see those bars there I was telling you about on the backside. Well, these are the bolts that we need to get loose. And it's hard to see, but you have this piece, which is our like float. It's like a special washer. Then we have our main nut. Then we also have a much smaller nut. I told you only need a 19, but I guess I lied. This particular tractor, that's an 18 and that's a 19. So the next thing I have to do is break loose the lock nut. And to do so, I've got to try to grab just that one. There it goes. And once that happens, as you can see, I should be able to pull off just the outer bolt. Now usually, once you get that out of the way, the other one also should free spin. Yeah, I don't even need to use a wrench. That's a little snug. I'll probably will have to use a wrench. So I'm going to take a 19 at that point, which I think is this one. I'm going to have a ratcheting wrench, but you could use a long impact. And there we go. I'm going to take that out. All right, then I'm going to take out that specialty washer. Don't lose that thing. It looks like it'd be impossible to find a replacement. And now we're going to kind of pull forward on the whole mess. All right, I just don't know how well I'm going to be able to capture this, but our last step here is removing our mower deck belt. And to do so, we're taking this idler pulley and we're pushing that forward to take the tension off. Because I need both hands, I don't know how well it's going to capture it, but I'm just going to lay it up and hopefully it catches some of it. All I did was take one hand and push forward on the tensioner, and then I used my other hand and just walked it off of the pulley. There's no great secret about it. So the last thing we have to do now is we're actually going to take the whole deck and we're going to push this whole deck back. That's going to get that adjuster for the front deck leveler to be farther back. We should be able to lift it out, and then we can slide this deck out the side. Let's do it. There we go. All right. That should do it. So now that it's laying down, it's just a matter of kind of wiggling that up and out. There we go. We are ready to pull this thing out. We're just going to wiggle on it until it comes out. You might have to kind of angle stuff because the wheels sometimes are in the way of certain stuff, but these aren't too bad to pull on. I find these to be no better or worse than the stamp deck. Weight-wise, I think these are a little heavier, but so that's it. Without the camera, it's maybe a 6 or 7 minute job. Even with the camera, it only took about 12 to 15 minutes. And I'll just store it. I leave the belts on just like that. I leave everything there. I take a baggie, I put all my nuts and bolts and washers in it, and I lay the adjuster bracket right on top of everything, and I call it a day. I guess that'll do it for today. I'm Eric, and I hope you have enjoyed learning how easy it is to drop your mower deck on a Husqvarna GT Series tractor, or TS. Take care.